Today is RUOK Day, and we want to talk about what the coach's role is in that. At the moment, there is plenty of things for people to be feeling a bit stressed about and a bit overwhelmed and so on, and potentially even a little bit directionless. Now, as coaches, we're probably best positioned to be able to recognize when someone's needing some help. Not only that, we're probably also best placed to be able to ask the question of, are you okay? A coach is there to support, but it's not just technically, it's not just about the business agility and how to do Agile properly and clearly. It is there to support people. It is support compassionately and personally. Work life consumes as much of our lives as it does in our personal lives. But to simply say that personal stuff needs to be dealt with in personal time doesn't really suit. We're still a person when we're in the office, aren't we? We're still a person when we're working. So since we're in that position, then it's a good idea it's good for beer. It's a good idea to be a little bit prepared. So here's a few tips from us. However, as we deliver these tips, we encourage you to go and check out RUOK's website and their YouTube channel. They've got a whole bunch more information. Now, firstly, look for the right moment. Asking someone, are they okay, in front of everyone else is probably not going to work particularly well. You want to make sure that you've set up a good psychological safety and that you're not making people feel too vulnerable when you ask that question of, are they okay? You want them to feel comfortable to be able to answer honestly. Now, for leaders as well, this is about setting up a culture of psychological safety in your working environment. You want to be able to set up a culture where people feel comfortable to be able to open up and be able to talk about these things when they need to. And for leadership, demonstrating that vulnerability makes a world of difference. Now, when you ask the question of, are you okay, make sure you listen, and you listen with intent. This is not a charity points grab. You're not saying it just for people to be able to hear you ask the question of, are you okay? You're saying it to listen to what that person has to say, and you need to make sure that you genuinely listen. Remove all the distractions. Don't be doing some emails at the same time or whatever. When they're talking, you are just listening to everything they say. Now, on the project on Tuesday night, Waleed talked about the vulnerability of asking that question and was saying how he was worried that by asking the question, he might make it worse. Now, the thing is, you're there to support them, not to solve the problem. You're there to be able to listen to them and help them define their own path to be able to figure out what they want to do next. You don't have to solve the problem for them. You're there to support them in their own discovery of how they're going to take the next steps, whatever those next steps might be. And you can do that by simply asking questions. Ask them what they think might be a good idea, what would they feel comfortable with. It's to encourage action. Now, as RUOK's website says, one of the 4 steps is to encourage action. It's not about defining action, right? Allow them to define their own action. You're just encouraging them to take action and do something. Try not to equate your own experiences with theirs. Everyone else's experience is individual, is completely different. So then when you try to add your own experience into it, you're just trying to take over the conversation. In that moment, the conversation is about them. Now, it's also important with the delivery. Make sure you're delivering it in a nice, light-hearted but compassionate way. Don't deliver it in a heavy, but are you okay? That's just going to make it sound like it's a burden that you're asking the question. It's not. It's like, how you going? Yeah, is everything all right? You're good? Yeah, it's simple, light-hearted, happy, and that way they're going to feel a lot more comfortable in opening up to it. I'd also recommend checking out Celeste Headlee. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
And Calvin Coolidge said, no man ever listened his way out of a job. Why do we not listen to each other? Number 1, we'd rather talk.
10 ways to have a better conversation TED Talk. Lots of really solid tips in that, so I'd definitely recommend having that. We'll put the link in the description as well. So that's a few tips from us. Now, of course, they're just our perspective, but I'd highly encourage, particularly if you're a coach, if you're a fellow coach, I'd highly encourage checking out RUOK's website. Download the resources there. It gives you a whole bunch of information to be prepared. Not only how to ask the question, but how to respond and what do you do when someone says no? You know, if you're prepared to ask the question of, are you okay? You've got to be ready for the answer of, no, I'm not actually. And how do you deal with that? How do you be prepared for that? So just remember, check out Are You OK's website. And remember to ask, listen, encourage action, and then check in afterwards. Make sure you're checking back in to make sure everyone's okay. That's it. Hope that helps, and we'll see you next time.